All right, guys. So we have some pretty funny news from the LGBTQ community that is pretty straight with me. Okay, this news is very, very, very straight with me, as New York City Pride Parade organizers have banned the NYPD from its events in 2025. Okay, and the reason why I say that this is straight with me is because, hey, you know what? For all these people that don't like the police and don't like the cops and they want to defund them, cool. If they don't want their services because they're unappreciative, fine. Let them protect themselves. They can do that. So this is 100% fine with me. But let's read a little bit more about the reasons why the NYPD is banned from the Pride event. Organizers of the New York City Pride banned the New York Police Department from participating in the annual June parade and related events and moved to reduce their presence on the scene, saying their appearance threatened members of the community. Quote, NYC Pride seeks to create safer spaces for the LGBTQIA plus and BIPOC communities at a time when violence against marginalized groups, specifically BIPOC and trans communities, has continued to escalate. Heritage of Pride, the nonprofit that plans NYC Pride events, said in a statement on Saturday. The sense of safety that law enforcement is meant to provide can instead be threatening and at times dangerous to those in our community who are most often targeted with excessive force and or without reason. NYC Pride is unwilling to contribute in any way to create an atmosphere of fear or harm for members of the community. Oh my God, man. These people, like I said, man, just give them what they want. Just give them what they want. If you really believe that a police officer being at a Pride parade is a real threat to you, I just don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I don't recall any stories about police beating up people at a New York City Pride parade. Now, these parades are pretty crazy, okay? Not because I've been to one, but I've definitely observed one, okay? Because back when I was in college, I was doing an internship in New York City, and I literally was living by Times Square. And the Pride Parade during the summer was happening literally right outside of my, I guess, building. Okay, it was happening right outside of my building. So I'm on like the steps of my building and just looking literally like a block away, and the parade is happening right there. And you see all kinds of, crazy stuff that, again, is, probably more oriented for adults. But at the end of the day, I haven't heard any reports about the police being a problem at these parades. I just haven't. So the idea that police shouldn't be there, that you don't want them there because they might cause harm or instill fear in people, is really unfounded. In my opinion, this really is just woke virtue signaling. That's all it is. That's all it is. Let's read more here. Heritage of Pride said they are banning all correction and law enforcement exhibitors at NYC Pride events until 2025, when their participation will be renewed further. Event organizers said they no longer require security and first response from the NYPD and will instead reallocate those services to train private security community leaders and volunteers. The statement reads, I wonder, are they going to have social workers right as security at this event? Okay, if you want to go all in on the wokeness, go all in with your experiment. Okay, have your social workers, have your crisis interventionists, have all that stuff, okay, to protect you. Okay, because if something breaks out, and I hope nothing happens, but if something happens, rely on those people, right? Because that's what you're telling everybody else to rely on, and you don't want the NYPD there. Cool, have your social workers and your crisis folks there, and you'll be fine, I guess. Heritage of Pride said it will use NYPD first response and security only when absolutely necessary and as mandated by city officials, according to the statement. Heritage of Pride spokesperson Dan Dammit told CNN on Saturday that the organization has worked with the NYPD for over 25 years. Quote, there's always been aggression by law enforcement, and it's been an issue in the community for years, said Demont. The events of last year with protests over George Floyd, there have been a lot of run-ins with NYPD, so we began to think long and hard about this decision. All right. So, again, I honestly, it is what it is. If they don't want police there, cool, give them what they want. The only thing I feel bad about is that there are LGBTQ police officers that are a part of NYPD who probably do go to these events and who celebrate, okay? And they're being left out of the fun because you have a group of people who want to be extra woke, okay? So woke that they are discriminating against people who probably agree with their movement, okay? As the NYPD officers react to the ban from New York City Pride Parade, basically calling it shameful. Let's read here. The president of the New York Police Department's Gay Officers Action League called the New York City Pride Parade Saturday decision to ban law enforcement from the festivities, quote, shameful. Their response to activist pressure is to take the low road by preventing their fellow community members from celebrating their identities and honoring the shared legacy of the Stonewall riots. Detective Brian Downey said in a Friday statement that preceded the one from NYC Pride. He said it was demoralizing that events organizers didn't refer to the league by name in its announcement, referring to us only as law enforcement exhibitors. The label is not only offensive, but dehumanizing for our members. An NYP spokesperson agreed it was disheartening. Quote, the idea that officers being excluded is disheartening and runs counter to our shared values of inclusion and tolerance, Detective Sophia Mason said. That said, we'll still be there to ensure traffic safety and good order during this huge, complex event. Fire Flag President and FDNY Battalion Chief Michelle Fitzsimmons slammed the decision as misguided and called for its reversal, according to the New York Daily News. Organizers of the annual event said the ban would continue through 2025 because they want safer spaces for LGBTQ people and people of color who feel threatened by police. Quote, the sense of safety that law enforcement is meant to provide can instead be threatening and at times dangerous to those in our community who are most often targeted with excessive force and or without reason, the group said in a statement. All right. So here's the thing, man. Like, honestly, if I was NYPD, if I was a chief, I would just be like, all right, you know what? Cool. If that's how y'all feel about it, if you're going to discriminate against our gay officers, right, and our LGBTQ officers, fine. That's cool. We just won't protect y'all at all, right? We just won't be there. We ain't got in traffic. We ain't doing none of that. Get your social justice warriors, your social service workers, get your crisis interventionists, get them to do it. Okay, get them to do all that. Okay, because they are discriminating against other people who otherwise would be participating in an event like this. And again, this is what I try to tell you about this woke movement. They're gonna be too woke, right? People are gonna go too far left with this stuff. They go so far left that they end up alienating a lot of people who otherwise would agree with them, who otherwise would be on board with the movement. Now, how do you think a lot of these officers who are LGBTQ, how do you think they're going to feel about the movement now that they've been discriminated against by the same movement that they probably supported? Again, this idea that police officers are threatening to minorities or anybody like that is really silly. It's so silly, guys. I'm going to tell you something. I always feel safer with police officers around no matter where I'm at. No matter what setting I'm in, I always feel safer with police officers around. Okay? I love when police officers are around, specifically when you're going out, right? When I'm going out at night, okay, and, you know, I'm 2-3 shots in the wind, whatever, right? Like, I want police to be around because I know how some people get. I know how some people like to act up late at night. So having a heavy law enforcement presence, I always welcome that. I always appreciate that. That's something that, you know, I would never fight against. Okay? Again, I'm a black person. I'm saying this. I don't understand why people feel afraid of having the police around. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I never felt that way. I would get sketched if the police were not around. I really would. I would be a lot more sketched out if the police were not around. than I would be if they are around. But hey, man, maybe I'm one of the last few black people or minorities, whatever you want to call it. Maybe I'm one of the last few to actually appreciate the police, right? They actually appreciate law enforcement. They appreciate what they do, appreciate their jobs. And like I said, man, I've already started to say this before in the past. The people that want to defund the police, maybe we just give them what they want, right? Maybe if they don't want the police around, let them protect themselves. Let them protect themselves. Let them, be responsible for their own neighborhoods and let them solve their own problems. That way, they don't have to worry about it. And we can use more police presence in neighborhoods and communities that actually appreciate the police and that want them. And I would be 100% cool with that. Okay? Because at this point, it seems like that's what they want. So you might as well give them what they want. Okay? Give them what they want. If they want to be protected by, volunteers and private security and social workers and crisis interventionists, that's cool. That's cool. Okay? So it is what it is. I do feel bad for the LGBTQ police officers who can't participate, but hey, man, it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.